Well, guys, right now I have Joe, who has done many different things. He's had a role in Casper. He has done many other voiceover things in video games, in movies. He's been in hundreds of films and TV shows, and he has wrote a children's book called Eggy Yolk in the Dirty Ron Dozen that is now available. So definitely check it out. How are you doing?
Well, right now I'm doing okay, Jerry, just a second, okay? Just give me a second, because I'm a little nervous talking to you, okay? Hang on.
I'm doing fine, Jerry. Thank you so much for having me. This is really great.
And hang on, I'm so sorry.
Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that joke.
It was hilarious. I forgot to mention he is also a fantastic stand-up comedian.
Thank you. Thank you.
So this is your first children's book. So can you tell us a little bit of an experience writing your very first children's book?
Well, the way it came about is one morning my family overwhelmingly voted that I be in charge of making breakfast. And of course, when I started to make breakfast for everybody, they all wanted their eggs made a certain way. And I was really getting panicky because I'm not that great a cook. And, my son wanted him sunny side up, and my daughter wanted hers scrambled, and my wife wanted hers a certain way. And I started to get all flustered and everything. And then all of a sudden, one of the eggs just kind of popped and started talking to me, and I came up with this idea, and the next thing you know, Eggy Yolk was born.
And yes, this is Eggy Yolk, the star of the book. And you can see he has his ukulele and his little hat.
Ukulele right there.
Yep, and it is the best ukulele in the world.
Well, the book is all jokes, and there's a lot of egg puns. So if you get puns and you like pun humor, then you're going to love the book, because it's just full of that. But it's also a great book it's a subtle book on bullying, and it's about a group of rotten eggs, which are called the Dirty Rotten Dozen. So they are stinky desperados, and they come into town, and they're going to take over this town called Eggville, where this new sheriff has arrived coincidentally on the same day, his very first day. But he made a commitment to protect and serve the citizens of Eggville. So the book has a lot of great morals and values in it: commitment, loyalty, honesty, courage, and I don't want to give it away, but Eggy kind of reinforces and teaches these citizens what integrity is all about.
Integrity.
That's right.
No puns intended. Well, actually,
Pun intended.
yeah, pun is intended. So you're actually working on a couple of new books. Can you tell us a little bit about them?
Well, I have a couple sequels for Eggy in the works. The next one is called Eggy Yolk and the Evil Salmonella. And then I have one coming out for Halloween. But our main goal, the publisher and I, who is Rick Dees of the radio Weekly Top 40, and he was on Kiss FM for so many years. Great guy, great talent. Rick and I, when he saw this, he had the same thing in mind that was my goal all the time, which was to make this into an animated series, because that's really what Eggy is, I think,
And how do you imagine Eggy to sound?
I don't know yet, because I play Hard-Boiled Harry in the book when I read it, and we're going to actually be doing a YouTube filming, like a table read, with some very famous people who are going to be playing the parts. But my sister, Anna, who illustrated this and is a brilliant artist, I told her to come up with someone. I said, make him sort of like Elvis, but with blonde hair. That's what I imagined when I thought of this, 8 years ago. And but I don't know what the voice is going to be for Eggy. We'll just have to wait and see.
I imagine something like this, like, "You'll not get away with this again, for I am the sheriff of this town."
Okay.
And you have done a lot of children's reading before and entertaining children. What was the first time you've entertained children that made you fall in love with it?
That's a great question, and I have a great answer because it's absolutely true. When I was 16 years old, just a little older than you, I got my first job working for the city where I grew up in Michigan, and I actually got to work at Parks and Recreation. And there was a division of this where the library, the city library, took a school bus and they ripped out all the seats and they put in carpeting with a puppet stage, and I would dress up as a conductor of a train, and we would go to all the schools in the summer who participated in Parks and Recreation, and we would do puppet stories and storytelling for the kids. So I would do tongue twisters, I would do impressions, I'd do voices. I got to play all kinds of characters, and I really got to learn how to perform for kids, because they're a great audience if you can, if you can hit with them, because they're a lot different than adults. But I just did a school in Michigan for 350 kids, and it was so much fun. They had a riot, and they all yell out during the reading when they get the jokes and stuff. It was great.
Well, it sounds a lot of fun. Now, one of your most famous roles is Uncle Stretch in Casper. Now, that is the very first CGI film ever to be created. How was that experience for you?
Well, that was a phenomenal experience because I was actually handpicked by Steven Spielberg, I was told, because of my audition tape. And it was really funny because evidently I was on my TV show, which was called Viper at the time, and it was the second year of Viper, and then I got called in for this audition, and everyone was there. A lot of really big stars were auditioning, and they called us in for a fourth or fifth audition where you had to audition with other people, but you had to ad lib. And the one actor that he was actually on another big show. He was on NYPD Blue at the time. This is 1993, and he just would not shut up. And I got so angry because I had the next line that I said to him to be quiet, but I did it as the character Stretch. And I did it in a way where it looked like I was ad-libbing, but I was really mad. The next thing I know, first day of work, somebody taps me on the shoulder. I turn around and the guy says, "Hi, I'm Steven Spielberg." And I said, yeah, I know. And I couldn't even think of my name. But then he said to me, "I quite enjoyed your audition tape." And I said, "Oh, yeah, right. Oh, yeah." And then I remembered what I had done on the audition tape. So I went, "Oh, my God," because I did say a bad word. I said a very bad word. And but he liked it, and he said, "That's why I hired you. I want that attitude for the leader of the Ghostly Trio." And that's how I got the part.
And there it goes. And you're in the Casper film.
Yes.
And that is the best story I've heard all day. You've entertained both adults and kids in stand-up comedy. What do you think the difference is between the two?
Well, I think adults, they go to be entertained, to let off a little steam. They've worked all week, and they just want to forget their troubles and stuff. Where kids, they just want to be entertained, and you have to be sort of like on the same level as a child. And from what my children and my wife tell me, I'm right there. So I think that's the main difference. It's kids just love to be entertained anywhere, anytime, and adults. Some adults like to be entertained. I know I do, but I think that's a big difference.
And where can we find Eggy Yolk and a Dirty Rotten Dozen if we want to get the book?
You just have to follow me, and I'll stop and out of the back of my car. No, you go to eggyyolk.com, eggyyolk.com, or you can go to Rick D's website, rick.com, and it'll take you right to eggyyolk.com, and you can order the book, and I will personally autograph the book for you.
That sounds pretty nice.
Yeah, well, it's my job.
Well, thank you so much for talking to me very quickly. Can you please sign this book for me?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, there you go. And
Thank
I
you
hope
so
you
much.
enjoy the book, okay? And there it is right there, EggyYolk.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So, Gerry would like me to read a couple of pages, so here's Eggy Yolk and the Dirty Rotten Dozen. It was a bright, sunny side up morning in Eggville, and the happy oval town joke were sizzling with excitement, 'cause their new sheriff had just arrived. His name was Eggy Yolk. However, trouble was also brewing on this special day, and what happened next was a true American yoke tale. Just outside of town, the notorious Dirty Rotten Dozen was terrorizing one of the local yokels. The Dirty Rotten Dozen was the meanest, smelliest, rottenest batch of desperados, and anyone who dared to stand in their way was exterminated. And to find out what happens, you gotta buy the book.
Thank you so much for talking to me. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, it was my pleasure. My pleasure. Good luck to you.
And you too.
Okay.
And definitely check out the book and buy a copy and look for the sequels and other books he creates.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm your host, Gerry O, signing off. Bye.